onefootflipper.
Hi, Paige here, One Foot Flipper. How's everybody doing? I've just been looking over my sales number, and my 30-day sales are at an all-time low, or at least all-time low from when I started focusing on selling things other than cards. Right now, my 30-day sales are they just fell under $7,000, only $6,972. Why is that? I can tell you why that is. I have not been sourcing a thing. I've been listing nothing but death pile. And most of my death pile is not great. It's hard to list items, slow to list items, slow movers. I've been concentrating on fixing everything wrong with both of my stores, which I basically have done at this point. I just need to chop some cards out of the card store. Hey, if you want to load up on cards in the card store, load up your cart. Just load it up and then see if there's a button to invoice, ask seller for invoice, and if there is, I will make you a deal, because I would love to get a couple thousand cards out of that store just so I can get the subscription level of the store down. But so it looks like I'm not making any money, except for the fact that right now, when everybody else is spending a fortune on sourcing, I only spent $430 on sourcing in the last 31 days, and that's been 100% consignment payouts for my pseudo consignees that I've got. So that $69.72 is nearly all profit. Just you know, the eBay fees and whatever still have to come out of it, but I mean, I probably still, even though it's my worst month ever, I probably still cleared $4,500 in profit for the month. You know, I haven't run I'd have to run all those numbers to figure it out, but I'm still doing good even though I'm not doing good. Hey, I'll catch you back down in the basement in just a minute. So yesterday I got a message on a TV set I've got for sale. There it is over there on the shelf. What that is a 13-inch TV DVD combo. It's still sealed in the box from 2005. The person was very concerned that it might not work and wanted to guarantee that everything inside the box would work perfectly. And honestly, when you've got something like that, you really want to tell the customer something like that. This is a vintage electronics item. It's 18 years old. It is still new in the box. The box has never been opened. If you are not comfortable buying that, knowing that information, then I would suggest not purchasing it. Because chances are that TV is going to come out of that box and work flawlessly and nothing will be wrong with it. But it is also 18 years old. It could have developed a bad capacitor just from sitting. Electrolytic capacitors that are in most electronics do not last forever. They often will last 20, 30 years, sometimes 40, even more, but they can also go bad in as little as 10. So that set might not be perfect. That set might come out of the box and need minor repair. So I don't actually want that customer buying the item. I'd rather somebody who knew exactly what they were getting into would purchase that item instead of that customer. So let's hope they don't buy it. Since I work down in the basement now, a lot of the laundry duties fall to me. I don't really mind that, but it's really hard for me to film something when the washer and the dryer are both going full tilt 8 feet away from me. So you gotta pause that sometimes to get some filming done. Wanted to show off my photo station here. Basically, you got a piece of white backdrop. I've got a painted white Lazy Susan there. That way I can just turn that and take more photos. I've actually thought about mounting a camera to this pole. That way I could take the pictures directly from the computer. And also part of the photo station over here is this document camera I use, and this little wooden block. Actually, it's not a wooden block, but it's a box covered in paper. I use that sometimes as a background or smaller items. I could slap smaller items right down here and take pictures directly from the computer. Oh, and this guy is a sale. Kenneth, he's a Gans name ornament. I have about 6 different varieties of those in my store, and I have insane quantity of them. So get them now before Christmas, make it a little bit easier on me, because during Christmas I am shipping a lot of those. Let's see, what else? This is the sort of stuff I'm dealing with right now. Tubs full of completely random items where everything is different, and nothing goes slower than that at all. Oh, and I also discovered a new possible worst item ever. This dog treat hide and slide. Looks cool, looks nice. Looks like the sort of thing somebody'd buy, right? Nope. This thing weighs over 2 pounds. And it tends to sell for $9 to $10 shipped. And it weighs more than 2 pounds. And then we're gonna look at the actives. The cheapest active is $1.49 plus ship. And I thought for a little fun, why don't we scroll down and see who's the worst, who's trying to sell this for the most money. And I found it. Somebody has 2 of them. They're calling them brand new, but they're actually used with no packaging, and they're wanting 25 plus ship on them. And if you ever just want to take a look at a store that's doing everything wrong, find that highest priced item when there's a whole bunch available. So I went and I looked at his store, or her store, whatever it is. I see they have 556 items available. Wonder how many of those how many items they've sold in the last 3 months. 32. I ran the numbers real quick on that. That is a 52-month sell-through rate. That's the kind of sell-through rate you're going to get if you guess your prices. You're only going to sell things when you guess right. Everything you guess wrong will sit there forever, and your store will slowly get worse and worse and rot over time. Let's see, what else do we got going on here? I can't click anything, and I'm going to cut this part out. I sold this Claire's Kitty Trinket Angel Cloud Cat, $7.19. Sold this Hallmark Top Dog Graduation Dog, still has the tag, $10.99 plus ship. My daughter pulled that out of a free bin. And weird time of year for it to sell, isn't it? Because graduation was several months ago. Guess it's a late graduation present. So somebody emailed me today, and they're in their first year reselling, and they asked me, what do I do to prepare for Q4? And I thought about it and thought, I don't really do anything to prepare for Q4 other than I'll pull some of the stock of the more popular Christmas ornaments upstairs to the packing station, so I don't have to. So when people buy the blank ones that don't have names on them, or the ones we're going to write the names on them, so I've got them right there. Other than that, I don't do anything special. I just keep trying to source, list, and ship. Do you do something special? Please, if you do, tell me about it in the comments, because I would love to know. Maybe I'm just doing all that wrong, but I just kind of treat the whole year is pretty much even. I just know I'm going to sell more Christmas ornaments in Q4, and to me that's about it. It's otherwise about the same. All right, be back soon. Hey, just wanted to show you another little trick I do when I've got something that's not necessarily an item for sale, but something that I don't want leaving out, but I want to be able to find it later, like this orange extension cord. I just put it into one of the boxes in my SKU system, and I keep a little Excel spreadsheet of where all that stuff is, so when I need to find that extension cord or the hammer or the drill, I know where it is. Or sometimes I use it for other items that I know are going to match up with something later, like hey, here's a Nintendo gamepad. I know someplace else in other boxes I have a Nintendo, and I'm going to want to match those items up, so I'll give that Nintendo gamepad a SKU, toss it into a box, and when the Nintendo surfaces, I'll be able to find the gamepad. So in my last video, we talked about wasting money on storage, and I can't believe I forgot something that has been here for as long as I can remember. I'm here at a self-storage lot in my neighborhood where people pay to park things. This little Volkswagen Rabbit truck and this other little Volkswagen and these two trailers have been here for at least 13 years, because I've lived here 13 years. So somebody's been paying for 2 spots a month to store these basket case projects for at least 13 years. Even if this lot is very cheap, which it probably isn't, otherwise it would be full, because there's a lot of these lots in my area and most of them are pretty full, they could have bought 2 restored ones for what that money costs. And at this point they're ruined. The trailers are ruined, the tires seem melted on the tires, are ruined on the cars. This area went underwater briefly. I think it only went up to about a foot, so I think that just wrecked the trailers and didn't touch the cars. But wonder how long these things have really been here. Anybody live in St. Charles, Missouri and actually know how long these things have been here? This place doesn't have a building or anything. I think you gotta contact somebody somewhere else to actually rent stuff, so there's nobody to ask. All right, back to the rest of the video. With eBay's announcement today, I am very sad that I just spent a whole bunch of valuable time to split my store into a trading card store and a non-trading card store, because their new required updates are basically going to ruin most existing trading card stores on eBay, because they're now requiring conditions. Some people listed conditions, but a lot of people didn't. And the thing about trading card stores is they're huge. Mine has 13,500 listings and probably 40,000 cards between the listings. And now they're going to require conditions on those cards by a certain date. Am I going to go back in and put conditions in on 13,500 listings that have extremely slow through rates, and most of which are only $1.99? No, I'm not. I'm just going to shut my eBay card business down the minute they actually force that. And I think that's going to happen to a lot of other card sellers too. This is one of those things that they just did not think through at all, and it's really going to turn around and bite them in the foot. I mean, especially, are the 99-cent card guys going to do this? Guys with 20,000 cards in their store, 99 cents, they lose money on every one of them. Now, in addition to losing money on every one of their cards, they've now have to go in and edit every single one of those listings. This is a nightmare. At least the card store wasn't making me much money anymore. Hey, go into my card store right now, load the cart up with as much as you want to, and hit that button to ask me for an invoice, and I will send you a cheap invoice. I want those things out of here now, because I'm just not going to sell cards anymore. This was the final straw on that. Now, the exact details of this change is, before they'd make you stupidly select graded or ungraded, even though 99.99% of the trading cards listed on the site are ungraded, and any graded card is going to have the grade in the title. Anyway, so now you both have to select graded or ungraded, and then once you select that, if it's graded, you've got to select the grade, and if it's ungraded, you have to put a condition in. This is huge to people like me who like to do things right. That's the whole reason why I used eBay instead of TCG Player or other marketplaces to sell cards, is because with eBay I could fire the photo out and forget the condition. Then there's no arguing about the condition. They would just get the card in the picture. But now I also have to select a condition, which opens me up to somebody disagreeing with the condition, which is very possible, but at this point, the effort is not worth going back in time and fixing all those old listings. So I'm just going to lose every single one of them over time, and I guess shutter that store. What would you do? I can't think of any way to really fix this. I mean, I could set all my cards to a low condition, but then no one will buy them. They'll be filtered out. Set all my cards to a high condition, get a ton of complaints. I'm not putting in 3 solid months of labor to look at every single picture and grade the card. That is not happening. So yeah, I guess that is the end for me on cards. Hey, well, I guess it's not all bad. I guess now I'm going to be the proud owner of a very large collection of Magic the Gathering and Pokemon cards that are worth less than $2 each. And the worth thing is because pretty much every card in my store worth more than $2 is already sold, because I used a regular markdown schedule. So all those Magic and Pokemon cards have marked down 10% every 3 months, and eventually every one of them, would get to the point where it would hit undervalue. Somebody'd buy it and gone. So all my cards left are mostly at my minimum price point, aside from some really vintage stuff that's not gaming cards. This still wrecks my day just a little bit, because I had kind of just been hoping that this card store could continue to crank out $1,000 a month for next 3 or 4 years, but it's not going to happen now. I'm not putting in 2 months solid of labor into putting conditions on all these cards, and I'm not going to put fake conditions on the cards and get in trouble that way.